All right, there. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I think we've got a few people with us. Hi there, I'm Darren Downing. I'm the founder of Siren. So thanks a lot for joining, Darren Downing. I'm the founder of Siren. So thanks a lot for joining us. We are currently in the last 6 days of our raise, so not long to go now. So my plan for today was not to go into huge amounts of detail. I think the pitch has been live for about 6 weeks now, so I'm going to take the view that most of you probably had a chance to read through the pitch page in detail and so on, and obviously kind of conscious of everybody's lunch hour. So I'll try and keep this brief so that we can get to the Q&A and hopefully get to the meat of what you guys want to know about fairly quickly. So my plan is going to give a really quick introduction to where we are now, talk about the raise, what we're raising for, and then get straight into the Q&A. So kick off from there. So we're 5 years old. We've built a fantastic reputation over the last 5 years on a range of 6 flagship beers, of which one of which recently won the GBBF Supreme Champion Beer of Britain. We're also probably as well known for our boundary pushing, intriguing one-off series, barrel-aged beers, and series and barrel-aged beers such as Limoncello IPA, Caribbean Chocolate Cake, of which we're releasing a new round in the next week or so, and Maiden, our anniversary barley wine. So at this point, the team, we've grown to over 30 people. We are going to produce around 2 million pints this year. We sell nationally throughout the UK, up and down through Mitchells and Butlers, Brewdog, Fuller's, Waitrose, Marks and Spencers, and so on. And at this point, we're exporting to over 18 countries. Our growth has been primarily to the on-trade, so bars, restaurants, etc. And we see plenty of opportunity left, in there. We've actually achieved 30% growth this year on last year. However, for the last 2 years, the stats show that more beer is drunk at home than it is in bars and restaurants. So why is this important? Well, for us at the moment, we pack into bottles, and currently we're packing 20% of our total volume into bottles. Now, compare that to many of the peers that we know that we're good friends with. That ratio is very, very different. We're typically seeing some of our peers, or most of our peers, in the region of 40 to 60% into small pack, and that makes a huge difference. Small pack margins and the price per litre for small pack is it's different. It's a better margin, and it's also a better price per litre. So what are we seeing out there in the marketplace, and why are we only at 20%? Well, one argument for that is the interest in cans over the last year, which has grown hugely. That is where really all of the volume for craft beer is going. In fact, many of the customers that we deal with in the trade are saying that they're seeing differences of can sales of 20 to 24 to 1. So that's a huge opportunity. So kind of, as I say, a really, really quick way of getting to the point of what are we looking to to raise for. So we've gone out. Excuse me. We've gone out to the crowd to raise a minimum of 750,000, and we've luckily, thanks to all of you and our customers and interested investors out there, have managed to get past that initial target. We have a stretch target of 1.5 million, which we're pushing as hard as we can to get towards. Now, essentially, we've got a capex of a minimum of 1.3 to 1.4 million pounds, which is spread over a number of different things. For every step over the 750 that we get to, it basically allows us to make some different and improved equipment choices. But also importantly, it also takes away a bit of stress on the business on the asset financing or the financing in whatever way we do it going forward, that we will need to bridge that gap. At the top end, just on capital finance, if we go for the highest version of everything we want to look at, we'll be looking at about 1.8 million. So what are the bits that we're looking at? We're looking at a top of the range canning line. I have always said, and we've always said, that the quality of the product that we put into the final pack is the most important thing. And beer's biggest issue is oxygen, and as part of that, we've felt that because we get fantastic dissolved oxygen levels in our bottle at the moment, that we haven't wanted to move to a canning line unless we can do it properly. And that's really anywhere between a 750 to a £1 million spend to get it to compete at the level that we're getting from our bottles at the moment. On top of that, we need to purchase more tanks for more expansion. We've got a lot of work in the lab that we want to do, and also quite a lot of equipment that we're looking to improve our efficiency drive. So as we increase our volume, and we don't need to increase our overheads in the same linear fashion that we have done up to now. So that pretty much kind of gets a really a very, very whistle-stop tour from in fact nearly done in 7 or 8 minutes there, to get to the point of where we are right now, and what we're looking to do and why. So I'm prepared to kind of open the floor now to questions and see what you guys want to know, and see if I can answer them for you. So fire away with any questions. If you've logged in, you should be able to tap away into your chat there, and we can get started on answering some of these questions. Okay, no, nothing at the moment. That's fine. So I'll just talk through a couple of the questions that we've had more regularly from our customers so far on all the Q&As that we've been doing up and down around the country. So one of the questions is, firstly, what is crowdfunding? So in case you're not aware, you haven't done it before, what you're doing is you're actually buying into a share in Siren Craft Brew. So the money that you pledge, whether that be £10 or whether that be 10,000 or 25,000, that all goes towards a proportional claim, a proportional share of the Siren Craft business. So it's not a Kickstarter in that you're looking to get rewards to the level that you put your money in. We've got an interesting package of rewards for our investors here, but actually it's all about owning a share in a growing business. On top of that, some of the other questions that we've been asked quite regularly is, what size cans are you going to go into? This is an open question at the moment. We haven't decided, so we're still looking at our options there, and we're really excited to be able to go out to our customer base when we get close to that point and say, right, well, what does everybody want? So 330s will be our flagship range for sure. We're open on whether we go 440s or keep all for 330s. Personally, I like the idea of 330s. I think some of the higher ABV beers in a 440, and the fact that you can very rarely pour a full 440 into a glass at home is for me, well, I would stick with the 330. But as I say, we'll go out to our customer base and see what they say. So I've got a question here from Holden Forge. What plans do you have to get cans out to more stores around the country? Will you be targeting smaller beer shops, supermarkets, all of the above? Great question. We're open on that at the moment. We have no national distribution through any other supermarkets at the moment. So our initial target will be to get out to as many of the independent bottle shops and can stores, if you want to call them that now, as we can. So yeah, thank you. Hopefully that answers your question. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Okay, I've got a question here from Good Song. Be bottled, and how will you decide whether a beer will be bottled or canned? So yes, we will be keeping our bottling line. In the short term, we will continue to put our core beer into them as well, flagship beer into those bottles. But we won't be putting our general specials into bottles, that they will go into can, unless it's a barrel aged or highly prized beer, which will be predominantly the barrel aged stuff. So that will continue to go into our pretty little Vitruria Etrusca bottles and go out that way. So we will be keeping the bottling line, and we'll just see how the demand goes. If people still want the bottles for our flagship range, then we'll continue to keep putting it out there. Thank you. Okay. So some of the other questions that we've had through our crowdfunding Q&As have been, where are you looking at for your tap yards? I think unless we get close out in the next six days with a very big ramp up, I think that will sit on the back burner for a little bit longer. We have been looking at, obviously local to us would make a lot of sense. So Reading is a big place that could very easily slot in a very siren bar. We've also been looking further up north, and Bristol, Leeds are probably our two. Obviously, Bristol is not north, but Bristol and Leeds were probably our two other areas that we were interested in. So another question here. So thanks. Also, in the long term, are there plans to buy back shares? Great question. So that's one of the options. We've been throughout this whole crowdfunding raise, have been very careful about not wanting to promise too much, because ultimately it's we are a fast-growing business and with a lot of capital requirements. So we've been very careful to not put forward plans of dividend structures and so on within 3 years. But the ways of getting your capital back or returns back are obviously a dividend payment. There's also the option of potential share buybacks or a company sale. Those are kind of the three main areas. The one that sits most comfortably with me is that at some point within a period of time that we'd start looking at doing share buybacks. So thank you. Great. Any other questions at this point? Question from Gay. When does the round close and when is money taken? So we extended to just over a week and a half ago, and that extension closes on this Sunday. So excuse me. So as of Sunday, I think it's midnight. That will be it. So any chance if you're looking to put some money into our crowdfund, then you need to do it between now and Sunday evening. After that, my understanding is that the money is generally taken within a week to 2 weeks. I think there's a period of time where you have a cool down period, and you also have a number of people where Crowdcube will then go out for the anti-money laundering due diligence bits and pieces, and that can sometimes take a little bit longer. But generally, it's done within a week, 2 weeks. So, yeah, thank you. Okay, any more? Brilliant. Okay, well, in that case, we'll wrap that up. Thanks very much for coming along and joining into this first Q&A. First time we've done something like this, so it's certainly been interesting. We have another one tonight at 7 o'clock. So if you have any other questions you didn't think about, then please join in later on today. Thank you.